Hey, so I've been using the Rode Wireless Go 2 for over 6 months, almost daily. Ever since my first review back when it was initially released to basically every project I do between these videos, weddings, other client projects, the Rode Wireless Go 2 has been the main way that I've been recording high quality audio. And since then, between the audio reviews that I do on this channel, as well as on makeuseof.com where I also do tech reviews and comparisons, the Rode Wireless Go 2 has been the benchmark for all those videos. And one of the biggest benefits with this kit is its compact size, the fact that everything fits basically in this small little case. But as you'll notice, with the exception of my one wind muff, actually two, and my wire accessories, the transmitters and receiver are not in here. And that's because they're in here. This is, and I have to get the box out, the I'm gonna assume it's Cine, so ZGCINE ZG-R30. It's a 340 milliamp battery built into here that actually charges all three of your devices, your two transmitters and your one receiver. You'll see the one receiver and one transmitter because we're actually recording internally with the other transmitter right now, going into the Rode lavalier Go. It's actually interesting that this product comes out now because a couple weeks ago, I actually reviewed a very similar competing wireless microphone transmitter, the Hollyland Lark 150. And right away, you'll notice if you haven't seen the review, it comes in this very large, relatively bulky case, especially when you compare it to this soft case that the Rode comes in. The reason that this is so big and bulky is because this has a built-in battery which charges your two transmitters and your one receiver. I personally was not too much of a fan of this solution just because you're unfortunately limited in having to actually charge in here because it has a magnetic design and does not offer USB-C like the Rode does. But I did acknowledge that for people who are maybe not trying to travel as compact or stuff this in smaller pockets like I typically do. For those who aren't as limited in terms of space and actually prioritize convenience and perhaps reliability of knowing that their gear is always going to be charged up, I acknowledge that this is probably a very good solution and an option, and it's very convenient in that you just have to plug in the one USB-C cable and you're charging all three of your devices at the same time. So very interesting that that came out. I know a lot of people like that feature, but now, again, coming back here, we've got a very similar solution with the ZGCINE, relatively about the same weight, almost about the same size. In fact, it might be a little bit bigger. It's not quite a square, but basically this is doing the same exact thing that the Hollyland did. So I've been testing this out for the past week, and between using it in the studio here and projects outside, I'll share my thoughts on it. And while I've been using this with the Rode Wireless Go 2, it's actually compatible with the previous generation as well. To start off with, let's talk about the overall feel and build quality of this. It's relatively smooth. It's actually got some nice rounded corners here. Got the orange and black look here with the one logo. On the front, you can see the battery percentages on the case. You just have to press the button on the front there and it'll illuminate the lights and you can see the battery percentages. Nothing on either side or at the bottom or at the top, but on the back here, this is where you have your USB-C input for charging the case, as well as a full-size USB output if you actually want to use this as kind of a power bank. In my experience, this doesn't really charge too fast, and I kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion, to use this as a power bank because the idea is to always have your Rode Wireless Go 2 kit charged up. So I don't know if that feature is really going to be used too much, but in a pinch, I suppose maybe if you needed to charge something off, like your camera or your phone, maybe something small and maybe something that's more reliant on trickle charging versus fast charging, that might help you in a pinch. Opening it up, this is where, again, you're housing the receiver and the two transmitters. You'll notice, as I cut to some B-roll here, that it actually has the label for where you're putting your receivers and your transmitter. Interestingly, and I never noticed this before, I guess there's just ever so slight of a design difference between the receiver and the transmitter that requires the receiver to have its own special compartment. So if you were to try to put the receiver in one of the transmitter spots, it's actually not going to fit. With that said, it is a little bit hard to see the labels of where the devices go, so I would assume if you were to try to put everything back in a dark or poorly lit environment, it would be very difficult to find its spot. Another thing that is actually pretty important is the fact that this is really snug. Once these are in here, there's no wiggle for the most part, and you have this soft padding at the top here that I can shake this really hard. I don't hear any kind of jiggle, any kind of movement in here. In terms of design though, I understand why they have to be mounted in a vertical position because the USB-C port is at the bottom. It would have been nice to perhaps see this depth, this empty space here, perhaps better utilized. I don't know if maybe they could have slid everything down a little bit more to the left or right, allowing for a larger compartment, say on one side, to maybe put your additional accessories. Because again, that's one of the things and drawbacks that I thought I had with the Hollyland case here. I can't really put any of my additional accessories in this case. So in addition to carrying this, I still need another case for all those additional accessories. That's gonna be the same thing with this case. But if you're willing to look past that, the benefit of course is that you now have a central location to charge everything simultaneously using just one wire, one charger. And if you travel a lot on the go or you use these frequently between charges, then you have the added peace of mind of knowing you can now, as it claims, charge the units up to 3 times full from 0% using this case. The Rode Wireless Go 2 already has pretty impressive battery life, but again, if you're going for a longer duration between charges, that's where something like this could be pretty handy. In terms of build quality, I think this bottom portion here is relatively good. Again, everything fits in really snug, and you have the nice soft padding on there. But aside from that though, the materials themselves don't feel too premium. It does feel like a cheaper plastic. And where I think I might have some concerns is in this hinge design here. While it does have that magnetic close, the hinge on the back does feel flimsy, and I think if I accidentally pulled this a little bit too much, that could definitely be a point where it breaks. The Hollyland, on the other hand, definitely feels like it can take a larger force, and overall the plastics do feel a lot more premium. You can also see that it does have a little bit of flex here when I push it and turn it, something that is definitely not the case with the Hollyland case. Now we got to consider at its price point, that's not too bad, and we're probably willing to look past it a little bit because again of the other benefits that it offers. And so when you actually insert your transmitters and your receiver, similar to charging it up on any regular USB-C, you'll see their power charging indicators light up as they normally would. Now, yes, it does have other features like intelligent protection, which basically just helps prevent it from overcharging. Aside from that though, that's pretty much it. So again, final thoughts. If you've been looking for a charging case for the Rode Wireless Go 2, if perhaps you've seen my review on the Hollyland Lark 150 or other reviews on it, and you're interested in perhaps getting that same added benefit, added convenience of being able to charge everything in one location and having a built-in battery to always top off your devices, then this is a very good alternative to buying this system because, in my opinion, the Rode Wireless Go 2 is still the most convenient all-in-one built-in microphone transmitter system that I've used to date. Built-in recording is a game changer, and I've told so many people about it that it's definitely the way to go if it fits your shooting style, and for a lot of people I think it does. I also understand that for people who aren't as concerned with portability and who don't mind the extra weight and bulk that a case like this offers, there are a lot of benefits and conveniences with this, again, similar to that Lark system. So there you have it. Thanks for checking out this review. I've got a lot of other camera and microphone reviews coming out very soon. I just came back from OBX. It just happened to be that I was wearing this shirt, but a lot of things that I'm catching up on or trying to that are gonna be fun that I wanna share, including a couple lens reviews that I'm actually very excited to do some tests and comparisons on, including the Sigma 24-70, as well as the Tamron 70-180 that I recently picked up. So be sure to stay tuned for those. Subscribe and like the video. Until the next one, I'll catch you later.